A capacity crowd of more than 15,000 people packed the Winnipeg Arena this afternoon. They were there to see their hockey team, the Winnipeg Jets, for one last time. And as Rod Carlton reports, it was an emotional goodbye for the fans and the players.
They'll always be Winnipeg Jets to me.
They came early, lined up a few thousand deep just to say goodbye. Emotions hit a thunderous pitch when the doors opened and fans rushed for the best seats. And traditions were relived for one last time. And then one emotional speech after another. Everyone who spoke remembered the fans' devotion to the team.
And you fans are the very, very best. Thank you.
The players were just as choked up as the fans. Many said their hearts will stay in Winnipeg regardless of who buys the team. And there was a promise.
And when this team wins the Stanley Cup, it's coming back to Winnipeg!
But the most painful moments followed the official retiring of the Jets logo and the number 25 sweater of Thomas Steen. Steen played out his entire 14-year career with the Winnipeg Jets. He doesn't want to move with the team.
Thank you, fans. Hockey fans all over.
It was all more than many fans could bear.
It's a very sad day for Winnipeg.
Depressing, but I'm speechless.
And it was a more subdued crowd which finally left the Winnipeg Arena, many for the last time. Rod Carlton, CBC News, Winnipeg.
There was plenty of support for Team Canada at the World Juniors, especially from fans making the trip from Winnipeg. And as Hockey Canada head scout Blair Mackesy points out, it proves that the Manitoba capital deserves to have an NHL franchise.
You sat in the building last night and all you saw were red Canadian jerseys, and it would be awfully nice to see NHL hockey back in Winnipeg. I tell you what, when you look at the support that those people gave us, not only in the two exhibition games where we had 15,000 a game, but down in Grand Forks, driving through snowstorms or whatever to get to those games, you wonder what the hell we're doing playing hockey in Carolina and places like that.
That's right, the NHL teasing the city of Winnipeg with some preseason action. Coyotes returning to Winnipeg for the first time in a decade. But this wasn't about preseason hockey. This was about the NHL in Winnipeg. Sean Churchill has more.
The team colors and name may be different, but the last connection for Winnipeg to the NHL has returned. The Phoenix Coyotes opened their preseason schedule against the Edmonton Oilers on Sunday night, and coming back to Winnipeg has spurned a lot of memories.
You always remember your first game, your first goal. And I remember the last game here when we played Detroit, and I think it was Game 6. And being kind of underneath the stands after how loud it was, and realizing how big it was that the Jets were leaving. And it was something I'll never forget, the emotion that was in the building that night.
When the Jets left Winnipeg in 1996, the Winnipeg Arena was aging and salaries were skyrocketing past affordable terms for Manitobans. 10 years later, with the salary cap, some would say there's a glimmer of hope that the city is ripe for the return of the NHL.
There's a lot better chance in this day and age that this city could get a franchise than maybe 10 years ago. Whether or not it happens is something the league has to work out and ownerships have to work out, but obviously this city's always going to get talked about because it's a good hockey city.
A sold-out building Sunday night welcomed the NHL back, and it's those fans that the players remember.
You knew where you were. It was one of those buildings that no matter, they could have blindfolded you and put you out at center ice, and as soon as you open your eyes, you knew where you were playing. And that says something about a building.
There's nothing better playing in a Canadian city, and it's they treat you well, and they can get on you a little bit. So, I mean, it's it was tough. My first year here in the NHL, having played here, it's a Canadian city, and they love their hockey, and hopefully one day it can work out for them.
Sean Churchill, TSN, Winnipeg.
And even though we haven't done the homework, I believe in an ideal world, under the partnership we have with the players and with the salary cap, that Winnipeg probably could support an NHL team.
Those encouraging words from Commissioner Gary Bettman giving new hope for hockey fans of the return of the NHL to Winnipeg. Since expansion is not on the NHL horizon, relocation of an existing team seems the city's best option.
Could Winnipeg support the NHL? Under the new CBA, we haven't studied it, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Talking about Eugene Melnyk again, because when the Sens owner talks, he usually says something interesting, such as today when he said that more Canadian cities could support an NHL team. And for his example, he didn't cite Southern Ontario. He cited the home of Neil Young and the Guess Who, Winnipeg, Manitizzle. If an owner in a medium-sized Canadian market thinks another medium-sized Canadian market can support a team, isn't this an automatic carry?
It's Manitoba. Winnipeg, Manitoba. Absolutely. They got a great building, MTS Center. It's fantastic. Holds about 15,000. Could be expanded. They've got knowledgeable hockey fans. They've got great sponsorship ready to go. There's no question they cannot do any worse than we're doing in Atlanta, Nashville, name some of the Florida teams.
Well,
Winnipeg is ready for a team.
It sounds great in theory, but why did they lose the Jets in the first place?
Because the American dollar is so high. Now that we can actually buy American dollars and get more for it.
So how long is that going to last, though?
Well, what about the new CBA, though? The new CBA was designed and has obviously helped teams like the Oilers and Flames that were possibly on the move before the new CBA with the salary cap and a restriction on salaries. Do you not think that would help the Jets now?
Well, certainly it would, but what else is the new arena expansion? Is that a factor?
It would have to be expanded, right? You're right about that.
But it's ready. My understanding is it's ready to go. They clearly build this thing with an eye toward having a team
I would
come
say
back.
last year they got first class boxes. They are luxury boxes are super. They're ready to go.
Do you know what they knew with the way those fans are there? We played them in a couple of series when I was Vancouver to win it. They loved their team and they supported it well. So you'd like to see with the new CBA that they will one day get a team back.
I covered hockey, junior hockey in Manitoba for a year. I can tell you the fans there are so passionate about it.
We all know that there's a market that's available. Winnipeg is a true, proven market. The Jets, unfortunately, do that time with the American dollar and all the pressures that were going on. There wasn't a CBA. Now there is one. Now that is a city that we all know is viable, and Canadians need to have Canadian hockey. We need it back in our country. You can't let it be in all the Sunside states, because look at what's going on with the game.
Well, I'll tell you, they made a big mistake, I'll tell you that.
This is Cherry's first trip back to Manitoba since the Jets left town. And he's a believer that the NHL will return to Winnipeg.
Didn't build a 15,000-seat arena for American Hockey League. You could squeeze in another 1,500. I guarantee you that there'll be a team here sometime. And if anybody wants to put some money in, I'll invest because it'll be terrific.